today is Columbus Day, officially, federal holiday. On October 9th, today is the 13th, last week on the 9th, Donald Trump issued an official proclamation. It says, Columbus Day is the day our nation honors the legendary Christopher Columbus, the original American hero, a giant of Western civilization, and one of the most gallant and visionary men to ever walk the face of the earth. On this Columbus Day, we pledge to reclaim his extraordinary legacy of faith, courage, perseverance, and virtue from the left-wing arsonists who have sought to destroy his name and dishonor his memory. He goes on to portray Columbus as some sort of white savior. He said he was guided by a noble mission and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to distant lands. Upon his arrival, he planted a majestic cross in a mighty act of devotion, dedicating the land to God and setting in motion America's proud birthright of faith. No, the founders are very clear. America is a secular nation, not a religious nation, but, nonetheless. Trump then continues in his official proclamation. Outrageously, in recent years, Christopher Columbus has been a prime target of a vicious and merciless campaign to erase our history, slander our heroes, and attack our heritage. Our nation will now abide by a simple truth. Christopher Columbus was a true American hero, and every citizen is eternally indebted to his relentless determination. Now, how did we get Columbus Day? We got Columbus Day because in the 1920s, the Ku Klux Klan, which not only hated black people and Hispanic people and Asian people and queer people, but also hated Catholics. In the 1920s, the Klan began attacking Catholics, and they spread the rumor that the Knights of Columbus, which is a Catholic fraternal organization, a Catholic men's club, that the Knights of Columbus had a secret plan to exterminate Protestants. And there was all this anti-Catholic sentiment happening in the 1920s here in the United States. And the Klan was just, rebounding like crazy because Democratic President Woodrow Wilson was a big fan of the Klan, big Klan marches in New York and D.C., and he played Birth of a Nation, the Klan recruiting film, in the White House. So the Knights of Columbus joined with this media mogul. He was an Italian guy. His name is Generoso Pope. He was a first-generation Italian immigrant. And he was also an important Italian-American politician in New York City. And they created Columbus Day. It was signed into law in 1934 by FDR. And it was a way of pushing back against the Klan and its anti-Catholicism. But more interesting is, who are these leftists who are besmirching the reputation of Christopher Columbus? Well, one would be Miguel Cuneo, Miguel Cuneo was one of the guys who was on the boat with Christopher Columbus. He was the official historian, the chronicler of it. He said, he took a beautiful teenage Caribbean girl as his personal slave, a gift from Columbus himself. But when he attempted to have sex with her, quote, she resisted with all her strength, so I thrashed her mercilessly and raped her. Columbus regularly rewarded his men with local teenage girls. In fact, he wrote to a friend in 1500, quote, 100 castellanos, a Spanish coin, are as easily obtained for a woman as for a farm, and it's very general, and there are plenty of dealers who go about looking for girls. Those from 9 to 10 years old are now the most in demand. Christopher Columbus himself wrote to the Spanish monarch in 1493, quote, it is possible with the name of the Holy Trinity to sell all the slaves which it is possible to sell here. There are so many of these slaves, and also Brazil would, although they are living things and are as good as gold. And then Cordoba, Pedro de Cordoba, who was a priest with Columbus on the ship, in a 1517 letter wrote, quote, as a result of the sufferings and hard labor they endured, the Indians choose and have chosen suicide. Occasionally, 100 have committed mass suicide. The women, exhausted by labor, have shunned conception and childbirth. Many, when pregnant, have taken something to abort and have aborted. Others, after delivery, have killed the children with their own hands so as not to leave them in such oppressive slavery in the hands of Christopher Columbus. So, yeah, happy Columbus Day, right? It's this noble man who went off in search of slaves and teenage girls to rape. Wait a minute. Raping teenage girls. Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump. I know why Donald Trump loves Christopher Columbus. He was the Jeffrey Epstein of the 1600s or the 1492. There you go. Now it all makes sense.